Welcome to Sound Values, powered in part by LSA Burger and Classic of Denton. The views and opinions expressed by the show hosts and their guests are those of the show host and guests, and not necessarily those of the sponsors, DentonRadio.com, or the Denton Convention and Visitors Bureau. For more information, visit the Policies and Procedures page at DentonRadio.com.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in live tonight on DentonRadio.com. We are broadcasting out of the beautiful Discover Denton Welcome Center on the Getting Cooler September air. Denton Square. It is beautiful out there tonight. Hope y'all are enjoying the weather. I am sitting here with a man who's been on the road, a man of mystery, a maestro, if you will, of sorts. A master of the violin. For those of us who've seen him, we've all been starstruck before. We've been consumed in the sounds, the lovely noises of Leoncarlo. How you doing, man?
Dude, I'm good.
Awesome,
good
man.
To be here.
It's great to have you on the show, man. As we were kind of discussing before, and I was talking to YSA on my way up here, who you interviewing, I said, "Oh, Leon." He was like, "Oh man, ask him about this, And he was like, all of a sudden, he's been popping up with all these projects. I feel, and even when I messaged you, like I said, you were on the road. You're like, oh, I'm on the road right now. I'll get back to you about doing the show that we've got on Thursday. Yes. So you've been all over the place, man. You've been everywhere. So let's just kind of dive into talking about, because we've talked before. I've questioned you endlessly about the construction of the violin and how it makes the sounds and everything like that.
Yeah. I love talking about that.
But let's just kind of, I want to know, because I didn't want to bother you when you were on the road, but I'm wondering, where did you just, you're on the road, who knows what you're doing, you're just out on the road,
I'm hiding.
Yeah, just on the road. What were you up to, man? What was going on?
Well, it's been a really good summer. I think when we last talked, it wasn't anything too exciting. I was honestly just up in Wisconsin hanging with the in-laws.
Okay.
Out on the lake, just taking a break from the busy life that I do live when I come back here to town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for
man.
sure.
Let's see, things that are on the radar, besides the show on Thursday, which I'm very much looking forward to, would be, we just started our fall term at Bonduras Music.
Okay.
That's where I teach.
Yeah.
I'm an assistant manager there.
Nice.
And it's a lot of fun. We get people of all ages coming through, and now that it's the beginning of fall term, there's just a ton of inquiries to get through.
Yeah, stuff starts to pick up real quick, huh?
It's good, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I've been performing more. I've had this existential dread that one day I might just be too busy with this lessons stuff and not have enough time to perform. Luckily, there's no shortage of great musicians in town that just want to jam. The Rod of Obsidian folks. We've got a single coming out.
Okay.
Another single in addition to the one that we just released on Friday.
Okay.
The single from Friday is called Viridian Dawn.
Okay.
It's some of the most fun I've had playing music lately is just hanging out with those dudes.
Yeah, for
They're
sure.
great. Yeah.
So what is it that, that's a very different, style. We think of Rod Obsidian, we think of they're both full of sound, know, and your own personal music. So how did you get linked up with these guys? How did that start to happen?
So I went to this, it was a recording project up in the Ozarks last year.
Okay.
Met a lot of great people. Some Dentonites organized that. And I was placed into a group of musicians called Feather.
Okay.
We recorded some music together, and I met Andrew Austin in that pairing of musicians, and we just clicked. And then his buddy Eric Park was in a different band at that same place in the Ozarks, that same recording session, and he was in a band called Mushroom, and but I guess they must have talked and been like, hey, I bet we could convince this violin player to jam with us. And they did.
Okay. Did they? How'd they sell you on it? They sit you down at a nice dinner and they're like, Leon, we gotta. Leon. They present you with a contract. They're like, look, Leon, here's your signing bonus right here.
Be sure you read the fine print.
Yeah, you're gonna be made, Leon.
No, they just invited me to come and jam.
Okay.
Sometime, and then we played some shows together. They invited me out to their space. And the next thing I knew, I met Nathan and Kirk, and the next thing I know from that point is that we're sitting at Dusty's, and they're like, "So, do you want to play in the band? Do you want to be part of the band?" And yeah, at that point,
Nice.
I realized that I enjoyed the music,
Yeah.
and there was nothing to it but to
Nice.
just do it.
Yeah. How did those
Yeah.
first few jams go? You know, because when you think about the kind of heavier Rod of Obsidian style,
Yeah.
and that's what I mean is they're both big sounds that you
Yes.
guys are coming with. So how do you and you
A
performing
lot of stretching.
Yeah, and you don't play by
And
yourself all the
stretches.
time, but when I've seen you, I've only ever seen you, you know, and what you're able to do with a single instrument and some loop pedals is always incredible.
Thank you, dude.
But how did you guys balance out, those two styles coming together?
You know, I guess they were just really open to having a fifth new voice come in and try to just stir things up a little bit. And it's been a really great process. The dudes have been very receptive to having me playing music with them
Yeah.
on stage.
You've been playing violin,
Yeah.
what, for 20 years?
Actually, yeah, 25 years
25
as
years.
of August.
Yeah, if I got you into my group, I'd be like, we're all going to shut up.
No.
At least for this practice. And just listen to what this guy
Oh
has
man,
to
I
say.
can roll the punches.
Yeah,
it's
oh,
no
no,
worries.
yeah. Mhm. Okay, and so
Yeah.
they're being very receptive,
Yeah.
which, like I said, man, I think
Yeah.
most people would be, if they've seen the performance. What did you kind of start with when they start playing, and you're listening, because I know that sometimes you'll pluck,
Yeah.
you'll what is this motion?
Just bowing.
Bowing. Okay,
Yeah, you can call it legato.
Yeah. Okay, you'll
which
bow,
is a
legato.
smooth sound.
Okay, yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Different, the different types of performance, I guess, techniques that there are.
Oh, sure.
How did you how did you start to find your way through their sound to where you didn't feel like you were overpowering it, but you were a
Yeah.
part of the sound?
Oh, sure. Well, first I find like the smallest subdivisions of their rhythmic tendencies that teaches me in the moment like how fast I can go, and when I feel comfortable with that feel, then I think about where I am harmonically, and then I just try to write melodies as needed, or add more textural components if the moments are more about texture. Does that make sense?
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, when you say rhythmic, when you say
Yeah.
their rhythmic tendencies,
Yeah.
and you're saying, and we're talking, okay, these guys' rhythmic tendencies.
Oops.
No, let's elaborate on that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, the violin at points it can
Yeah.
feel, especially the way that you play it, like this percussive instrument at times.
Thank you.
You really turn it into this whole. It's not a stringed instrument when
Yes.
you're playing it. It is a noisemaker, a very good noisemaker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Noise can have a negative
Thank you.
connotation to it,
Oh,
but
no,
it's
I
a
don't take it
sound
negative.
maker.
Thank you.
A
Yeah.
good sound maker.
I'll take it. Thanks.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
back to the kind of question is, when you're figuring out those rhythmic tendencies,
Yeah.
what are you listening for?
Well,
Like, what is a rhythmic tendency?
like, for instance, I mean, I'll be the first to admit that I don't have the best sense of time.
Okay.
I'm always working on it, constantly, student for life. you
Yeah,
know?
for sure.
And
So it makes you a good teacher, though.
I try. Thank you. But I guess rhythmic tendencies in this case, what I just meant was like, I think, like besides how fast to play faster rhythmic patterns, but also like listening for, I always use the word motifs, like in their way of writing music that I've learned. There's a lot of like very quick rhythmic patterns that happen repetitively to the point where like you start to just hear different kinds of phrases come about when you alternate between these these patterns.
Yeah, okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
now, yeah.
it's just phrasing. That's all I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're pretty much learning how these guys jam,
How they phrase,
play.
yeah.
Okay, cool. He goes here, then this the same that
Yeah.
you would that you've played with people for years.
Absolutely,
Like
yeah.
I play with a buddy where I like if I'm playing guitar and he's on drums, we know exactly when it's like, okay, cool, we've played that. Now it's time for the chorus, and then we have this right here, and then cool. Oh, you're gonna play guitar. I'm gonna play piano. We have I know where we're gonna go and what the phrasing's gonna be.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know what I was doing it, and I was doing it the whole time.
That's right.
That's great. That's awesome. So then after this first jam, you kind of get to talk to these guys. And did you say you played live shows with them? Like you already played a show with them, or did you go? Okay, so you've played shows
so
with them.
much fun, man.
Okay, so where was the first show that you played?
They let me hop on stage with them before I was part of the band.
Okay.
At Andy's for the first time.
Very cool.
That was when it was still cold out. I forget exactly
January-ish.
when. Dude, the past just kind of blurs together.
Oh, I know.
Sometimes.
Oh, I know. The past 10, 12 months.
Honestly, like being here is great. I feel like I'm finding a reason to like root myself again.
Okay.
And just talk.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's good.
Yeah. But so I was saying like Andy's in we're gonna say like just the fall or the winter. They let me jam first time. That was the most fun I've had on stage in a while. Got to bust out my electric violin, which I don't normally play too often. It's I don't want to geek out too much, but looks pretty sweet, and I like to play that instrument with the Rod of Obsidian outfit.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool. It's
so
cool.
you have a specific style you wear when you said outfit. You have gear, like specific gear.
Oh, I just mean like the whole setup.
Okay.
Of, like,
I was like,
yeah, I call it an outfit.
Oh, he's got an outfit. That's what I like
But
to hear.
maybe
We were
I
talking
do.
about vests earlier. How I can't pull a vest off. He looks great in a vest.
This is the
what it
only vest that my wife would let me purchase.
She has good taste.
Yeah.
She has good taste.
I understand any hate that vests may get.
Vests are just jackets without
Yeah.
sleeves. Let it go. Let it go.
I like having pockets.
Did
though.
you ever see? There's a comedian named Dimitri Martin who makes a joke where he's like, I saw a guy at a party and he had on a leather vest. I thought, that is not cool.
No, it is not.
I saw a guy with a leather jacket.
That is
on.
a choice.
He's like, I saw a guy with a leather jacket on, and I thought, that is cool. He's like, and I realized what was cool was leather sleeves. The only separate, this part right here is what makes it cool or not cool, right there.
Sleeves.
So you play with them at Andy's. You have a good time. You said some of the most fun. What made that some of the most fun on stage? What was it about that experience that we were like, that's some of the most fun I've ever had?
Oh, man. Well, first of all, I'm pretty sure that Andy's has some of the best sound in DFW these days. So it's always a treat to play out there. And that show, they just handled my sound expertly, as always. So
Do you
that
remember
was
who was
fun.
running sound that night?
Oh, man. It was either Chris or Brandon, I think, or
Cool.
Kevin.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Yeah. No, it's all good. I was like, because I've had
I'm
some
sorry, I love
great,
all those people.
Yeah, I've had some great experiences there as well, where I'm just like, you made it sound better than it did back home. So thank you.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing how much of a difference good tone can make during a performance?
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Good stage gaining, monitoring,
that's why I do it, man.
all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's something. I've even told people when I show up to play, like even Zach down at Harvest House, he knows. He's like, he is a monitor diva.
Yes,
and I call myself that. That's what he'll say about me, because I call myself, I'm a diva for good monitors, dude.
Yes.
Like I want to be consumed in my sound.
Yeah.
That way, I can really hear it. I know what's going on.
Oh yeah.
Especially now that I've brought my guitar and my keys onto the stage and have started playing about 4 or 5 tracks like that now at the beginning of sets.
Oh, very cool.
Now it's a lot more important to me to be like, okay, cool. That I have those monitors around and I can really hear what's going on, in the mix.
Yeah.
So yeah, great. I love good sound, man. I love good sound.
too.
So besides
Me
the
too.
good sound,
Yes.
good sound, what else was it? What else was it about being up there with those guys, being up there with Rod of Obsidian?
Well, I'll admit, like, it was I was pretty proud to just be up there personally, challenging myself to try something different.
There you go. Were you scared?
Yes.
And
I'm
isn't that
always
fun?
a little scared. It is.
It is,
Yeah.
yes.
I love the
That's
risk.
why I had to do it too. Get the guitar, get the keys.
What
be
is
scared.
art without risk, That's what I always say.
This guy. I'm going to put that on like one of those cheesy plaques that you find,
What is art without risk?
Ninja socks.
Ninja socks.
Hey, what's up, Danielle? Good to see you. Good to see you.
Danielle?
So, yeah, you're up there. You're having fun. Was there something because this is a personal experience of mine as well, that when I play with other people, I'm so used to being by myself or just having someone rap over one of my tracks. Like I've been on stage and Pudge would come up and rap over a song that I've made that he wrote to.
Pudge is great.
I feel that when you that music is naturally meant to be done in a communal setting.
I agree with that.
You know?
Oh, so much, dude.
You know, even we go back thousands of years to where we're stretching animal skins over logs and we're sitting there. This was done in a communal sense. It's only recently that music has become something we can do all alone in our bedroom.
Yeah.
You know, in the last 30 years, you know, even then, if you wanted to have a synthesizer, you had to have a couple $1,000s, you know, in the 80s and the 70s. And
they were heavy.
Yeah, and it's this big. You got to go to the studio that can afford it. So for me, it's always been when I get that opportunity, it feels, and I think it's that communal feeling, is that really natural, organic feeling of doing this thing that we've done for a very long time together with somebody else instead of alone.
That's well said, man. You know? I agree with that.
So I've thought about this. You know, why does it feel so good to jam?
It's a different conversation. You know, for me, I love those moments because it allows me to connect with somebody else's means of expressing themselves. And my favorite thing to do when I jam these days is really to just kind of take a back seat and just kind of build context around what other people are doing.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
like I don't know. I'm hoping that my show at the end of the month that people come out to that, because I'll be jamming with Sarah Ruth on stage on the 28th. That show is
Where is this?
That show is, wait, don't tell me. That show is at Andy's.
There we go.
I'm playing at Andy's a lot.
Yeah.
Shout out Andy's.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. You know.
Love you, Andy's.
I love you too, Andy.
Yeah.
You know, whoever you are.
Whoever you are, Andy. Who is this Andy that Andy's was named after?
I don't know. I've never met this human being. I know he exists. I know
So
it's a real person.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I know it's a real person. His real name is Andy. It's not like Andy Pascal or anything, or Andy Basement or whatever.
Andy Basement.
It's nothing like that. So, you know,
Such a
you
Denton
play.
joke.
Yeah, I know. It was awful. I'm sorry.
No, I loved
the
it.
dad just flowing through.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, you play this show, you have a great time with them, and so then is that one of those shows where you leave and you're just, you know, you have this musician's high, as I would call it, and then you're ready to do it right away. So what was the next time that you played with them? You played at Andy's and where?
Yeah, we opened for a band called Consider the Source.
Oh, yeah.
We opened for them at Dance.
Nice.
Yeah,
Consider the
that was
Source
a
is
fun show.
awesome. I saw them for the first time when Haley's was open with a band that was called Beyond Neptune. I believe they're called Beyond Neptune. Do you know a guy named Luke Codwalder?
No, I might.
Great. He's awesome bassist. Really good guy. You might recognize him if you saw him out and about. He was around town quite often.
Oh crap! I
but
hope he's not watching this.
Nah,
And
he'll
he's
be
like,
all right.
Carlo didn't remember.
No, he'll be fine. It'll be okay.
Terrible,
But
man.
I saw them there and they were fantastic. So how was that show?
It was awesome, dude. I had, by that point, it was so many months after the first show that we had a few practices since then.
Okay.
And I got to just kind of react to the songs more from a point of like having actual parts
Yeah.
to play, as opposed to just winging it.
Yeah,
Which is always fun. I do love improvising.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yep.
But yeah, like I had parts. Also, the sound at Dance is also great.
Yeah.
Pretty sure Brent Best was running.
We don't have a lot of bad sound in this town.
We don't. We do not. That is true.
Yeah, we're
That is
we're
one
very
thing that
lucky
we
for
lack.
that. Yeah. Yeah, I've only played. I was because of Denton for a while. When I started to go to other
bro.
places in other cities, I was just like,
Okay, these are literally tin cans with strings.
So we've got a Bluetooth speaker here for
Yeah.
you tonight. We hope that's okay. You know, did you bring all your own gear? You brought your own PAs too, right? Wait, what?
Ooh, we don't have power. You're gonna have to hand crank
Yeah,
this. What is it,
every song you
Arkansas?
got to crank this thing. It'll be fine. It's like, what is this? Some type of Mad Max venue? Like, if so, I'm into it. It's
I
kind of
would
cool.
play that thing.
Yeah. If I had to do it,
Yeah, I'd have to know like what their gear abilities are, what their power abilities are. That's important.
yeah, exactly.
That's one thing I've learned is like always know what to provide to the venue and
Yes.
vice versa.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's huge, especially like, I mean, we've gotten to places where, you know, they don't have a table, you know, and when you're a DJ and you're going to play, you want to have a table.
Dude,
know,
you
so
should develop
end up-
this thing where you can like strap the controllers to your body.
me and Lofty have had some hilarious
Yeah?
ideas, man.
I bet
one
you could
time,
design some
well,
clothes.
Lofty you probably could.
Dude,
Yeah,
controller
with
clothes?
just
Sorry.
yeah, it would just a fold out. Well, Star Party, one of their guys has got this giant contraption that he came up with. It's got a launch pad down here, a keyboard here, another
Respect.
thing up here. It's massive. It's really cool. Respect
It's
that,
like future
that he
man.
can put that all
Yeah.
together. That's really cool.
It's awesome.
One time, Lofty, I forget where we played, but there was no table, so he sat. There was a couch on the stage, so he
Yes.
sat on the couch, and that's where he played his set from.
I love that.
Yeah, we're like, well, there we go. So I've been right there, man. You show up, and it's like,
Yeah.
hey, I need a couple quarter inches. Oh, we don't have those. I need a mic. Do you have a mic? No, we don't. And so I'm like. Cool. So now it's just kind of a point where I just load the whole thing. You know, I'm not a
Yeah.
drummer, but sometimes I feel like I'm a drummer loading all this
Yes,
stuff in
dude.
and out.
At some point in the gig circuit, some of your gear just ends up living in your vehicle.
Yep.
Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, man. There's times
Yeah.
where I'm like, I get home and I'm like, I should really take these. There's no reason to take this out. It's going back in a day and a half, you know.
Yeah.
For sure. My PAs have been in my car sometimes
Yeah.
for 2 weeks. I get a little worried about the heat, but
Yes.
I do buy some I've purchased some good quality gear.
I believe
so
it.
I'm not worried about it. Make sure to, and
It's
you know,
worth
if it's
the
like,
investment.
yeah, you put it somewhere safe and it's all good. But
Yeah.
man, there is a point where it just lives in there.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Even now, I've gotten to a point where I'm dwindling my setup down to where I'm converting. Like I'm buying some music stands.
Good.
And what I'm doing is I'm just taking a pair of really nice, like, you know, pliers and cutting a portion that allows the MIDI cable to come out. That way it can. So I fold the
Yeah.
music stand like this, and the MIDI controller can just rest.
That's just a really good idea.
And so I can have my pad controller right here, and then my keys right here, and then, you know, my computer, you know, probably on something else of the sorts.
Yeah.
And that starts to create this experience where I'm moving around my gear,
Yeah.
and then the guitar is behind me, and then the audience can see a little bit more of what's going on because things are now tilted towards them.
That's
instead
so
of
smart.
it being like straight up on a table.
Yeah.
And of course, one of my favorite musicians, FKJ from France, he goes by French Kiwi
Yeah,
Juice.
dude, he's awesome. So that's what that stands for.
Yeah,
Okay,
French Kiwi Juice. I don't want to make music like him because
Sure.
I'm not going to put myself to that type of standard.
Yeah.
You know, but I want to take tips from him.
Yeah.
And I watch and I'm like, dude, that is such a fun performance.
Yeah.
Same like when I watch you, I'm just like, dude, it's fun to watch y'all do what you do. You can feel it develop, you know,
Yeah,
and you can
yeah.
really you almost feel like you're doing it, but you're like, okay, come on. Yes, there's what I was looking
yes.
for. So,
Yeah.
anyways, that was a whole nother rant altogether. But you got me going on.
Yeah, no, that was great.
So we've talked about Rod of Obsidian, man. We talked about relaxing in Wisconsin for a little while.
yeah, that
you
was
know,
great.
and-
That was
and
at the beginning of August.
You know, that's no. I gotta ask though. It's like
What's up?
a lot of people think about Wisconsin. They think freezing cold.
Yeah.
You know, but what is
During the winter
Wisconsin
time.
like in the summer? It looks beautiful.
Oh my gosh, dude. It's like mid-70s every day. There's a lot of alcohol, which when enjoyed responsibly is wonderful. Keeping it PG.
Yep. Yeah. Oh. What you decide is responsible is strictly up to you.
This is true.
You
This
know?
is true.
You know,
Everything
exactly.
in moderation.
Exactly, you
Including
know?
moderation.
Yeah.
Kids.
Moderation is important. Say
Yes.
maybe later.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And so you've played
Lots of
with Red
golf.
Obsidian. Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of golf.
Yeah.
You know. So what else do we have in store now, man? What's going to be going
Okay.
on? What besides? Because I feel like there was like you're working with a couple like somebody
Yeah.
else as well. So what's
It's
going
been
on?
a great
besides?
year, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, I should have just led with that. Like, it's been a super awesome year.
Let's
so
talk
far.
about what's going on.
Yeah. Okay. So Spiderweb Salon.
Okay.
We just set up an exhibit at the DMA. There's a I can't call it a release show
Okay.
because that's not Denton. That's the DMA.
Yeah.
But DMA on the 28th.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. A bunch of Dentonites and DFWians. Is that a word?
How did
DFWians?
DFW?
Wow, I caught myself.
Yeah, Dallasites and Fort
Dallasites.
Worthites and whatever you got, you know.
The Spider Babes.
How did you guys get that set up? How does that happen? Because I've known the Spiderweb Salon for
Yeah.
years, just as far as poetry and stuff like that, being down in the basement, especially
Yeah.
when the basement closed for that small amount of time.
Yes.
So how did you guys get that? How did that all work out? How did that get set up?
I can't give you all the details about that
Okay.
because I don't know all the
Hush, hush.
details.
I'm sure you don't.
But people to talk to about that
Yeah.
would be Courtney, Marie,
Okay.
Nina, you know, just all those folks.
What is this
Yeah.
art exhibit though? What are they like? What is it? Is it physical art? Is it words?
It's
like what?
interactive art.
Interactive
Yeah.
art.
I don't want to spoil it too much.
Okay, I won't. But any interactive art. Now, me and Jake kind of discussed like how to get people to come to shows and stuff like that. I've talked to a girl named Amanda Sweet who does events and stuff for a living, and her and I kind of we talk about these interactive experiences, you know. And one thing that helps to draw an audience in is the audience sometimes wants something to do while they're there. And we want to be entertained even more than we already are.
Yeah.
So that creating of this interactive experience with the music, I really think is kind of the future of what we're looking at amongst working musicians.
Yeah, I hope so.
Is if you are not this guy touring, getting paid, even 10 grand a night or 5,000 a night, 1,000 a night, I'd take 1,000, I'll take 10. Anyway, I think creating those interactive experiences is kind of the future of getting people, drawing new people out.
I hope so, man. Yeah.
Especially being local, because people. My experience being local is when you first come on the scene, people are they're there, and they come and see.
Don't you love that about this town?
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. And then after a while, and serves right, stuff starts to kind of slow down.
This is true.
And it should. That's the natural progression of things.
This is true. Yeah.
So then it's kind of like creating that interactive experience, especially with your music and with art. Oh my goodness! Like,
Thanks.
I don't know if I'm in town, but if I am, I'm thinking we might have to make a family excursion for this one, because that would be something else. I would love for that to be Stella's first musical experience. So then when somebody's asking her musical experience on a show that I've asked 100 of people, she can say, I went with my dad to watch Leoncarlo play at the DMA.
That's super kind, man.
I think that's about like the
Yeah.
freshest first experience we could have. So we'll see if we can make that happen.
Yeah.
But back to the interactive experience.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that we're going to start to see more of, and I think it's a really good idea. Pairing the art and the music together, and this interactive art. I gotta know what this is, man. I feel like wave your hand over something, and something happens. That's gonna be cool, man. See, you're already creating the mystery in my mind, so don't tell me. We want the mystery for the people to be out there, so they come out to the DMA on the 28th. You said, right?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. At the end of this month.
Very cool, man. Very cool. So we've got that. And who are you playing with down there? Is there somebody else involved with it?
There are about 50 different artists involved. Yeah.
Like musician artists?
There's musical aspects to this installation. There's
like
also poetry.
Whole day long type experience? Or
I don't think it necessarily has to be that.
But it can be.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
That sounds like a good time.
I'm
intrigued by this. See?
You've
created
I
curiosity
would go check
in
it
me,
out.
Mr. Carlo. Now I need to know. now I need to know, man. Now I need to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool, man. So the 28th, we've got that going on.
Yeah.
Have you been working on any new music for yourself? Working with Rod of Obsidian and so do you have some new stuff that you're prepared to unleash?
There's always that voice in the back of my head as a person who creates, that's like, is this ready to hit the public? Am I ready to share this? I always have different demos that I'm working on. That's the truth.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why I've been booking so many shows and performance opportunities lately, I've got one at Harvest House on the 26th, and I'm playing at UNT the 20th. And then in addition to the DMA thing on the 28th, I'm also performing at Andy's later on that evening.
Nice.
And that's just this month.
Very cool.
Yeah, and for me, the joy in performing that much is that the style of music that I do live is actually very much a creative process. So it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah,
and that's why I loved what you were saying about interactive experiences when it comes to booking live performances and such. I think it should be interactive. Something Modern had it was like at J&J's. Y'all had
Yeah,
that
the
release
foliage
show there?
release show.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I got to they let me sneak down there and just take a look at y'all's set. Very sorry that I couldn't make it that
It's
day,
all right.
by the
It's
way.
all right.
But I saw footage from that experience and also saw your setup there. It was really cool. It was interactive.
That
you
was
know?
the whole goal for that, and that's the goal
That's
for
cool.
in October. We've got another release show for an artist. He goes by Emercy.
Okay.
And if you can make it out to that, man, I highly recommend. This guy's music's awesome.
I will do my best.
I've got to meet with him tomorrow and show him like my idea for the setup. And Character has given us pretty much every month we can do something down there, and we've done it for a
Yes.
while. We took a long
Good.
time away because we felt like, dude, we didn't do a good job for a couple of months, and so let's take a while away.
That's fair.
We probably won't have anything this month because we really want to build up that momentum for the October show.
Yeah.
But my mission for that basement is to, treat it as if it is obviously someone else's space. But if I owned a venue, what would I do? What would I do for each show if I owned a venue? What would I be able to do? And then I go, okay, what's in my budget? How can I make this happen?
Yeah.
In the most creative way possible. Man, I
Yeah.
had all these ideas for the foliage show, but then I get really creative, and then I have to go, okay, what's really possible? And then sunk it in. And that's where I was like, let's take the bamboo. We can run it along. We don't have to have two sides of bamboo because we can use the wall as part of the pathway that people will have to walk through. We can put it above people, so now all this bamboo's hanging down.
That was cool.
We'll set up these lights. We'll get the projector mounted. That was my favorite thing. This is the last thing I'll say about it, but that was my favorite thing of everything we did was having that projector mounted on an actual stand down there projecting, so it wasn't right in your eyes. It actually filled up the whole screen. I was very happy.
Yes,
It was the simplest thing, but everybody was like, "Man, this bamboo's amazing." I was like, "No, but have you seen the projector? It's got 4 screws in it into some wood. It's
that.
incredible."
Yeah.
What was great was by the end of it, man,
That is
people were
engineering
having
right
to move the bamboo because
Yeah.
they couldn't get around all the people that were in
Interactive.
there. Exactly.
There you
so now
go.
people are crawling through this bamboo and everything. So yeah, that was
Something's
super
happening in the
fun, man.
jungle.
Yeah, something's amiss in the jungle. So we've also got another show. Actually,
Yeah.
I guess the one that we're doing on Thursday is going to be the most recent one. So
Yeah,
we are
let's
having you
do
out
it.
on Thursday at
Yeah.
Backyard on Bell.
I've also got something tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Hush, hush. We won't talk
The
about that.
11th.
Man,
Yeah.
that's great, man. That you're booking and doing all this stuff, and
Yeah.
your performance is interactive, and that's what's so much fun about it.
Yeah.
know?
I feel this urge to just come up to finalize some new pieces that have been in development for a while. I feel this urge to just complete those and release them as soon as possible because it has been too long since my last release.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, like I really, that is a dream. Like I really would like to just relaunch Still Forms and, just make people happy.
Yeah, man. I would love to get some crazy interactive experience in the basement with your music, man.
That is a great thought.
That would
I'm
be
in.
something else to just come up with something. So I'm gonna kick you one idea that I've got right now.
Hit me.
So for what Amanda told me was, you kind of need to think in the aspects of personalities when you're booking a show too. Is that you want everybody to show up, right? But you have introverts
ideally.
and you have extroverts.
Introvert.
So
Yeah.
give something for the introvert to do. So, dude,
Yeah.
what we're gonna make is we're gonna make 3 isolation booths. So where you go in and you can sit in there, and there's gonna be this interactive experience visually within this booth. And so you can go and you can just sit in there, and you can just sit there, and it's gonna be black all around you besides these visuals.
Yeah.
And we're going to accomplish these visuals too. I know how to do it. I'm very excited. And so that was kind of this idea is let's create this interactive experience because not only is an extrovert going to enjoy that, but an introvert would be like, okay, I'm going to get out of here. I want to go in here for a minute. And now, okay, cool. I can be in here and whoa, this is cool. And, that's like creating spaces, and creating not just a room with brick walls and then a guy at the front or a girl at the front or whoever at the front,
Just
creating that experience. Yeah, no, it's fine. But creating that experience for people, that's what it's really about, is showing that we can combine all these different things.
You ever watch that show on Netflix called Abstract?
No.
Check out that show. It's a mini series that follows. Each episode is about a different influential creator's art.
Okay.
Each episode follows their art. So
I'll
like
take
the
this down
third
right
episode in
now.
particular, I forget this person's name on the air live. Wow, that's great.
It's okay, man. It happens to me all the time.
Well, the point is that this brilliant creative force of a person, I forget her name, she is a stage designer.
Okay.
And she talks about these concepts like how the audience will perceive the interaction between like different aspects of stage design.
For sure.
And it's super cool, and it was very inspiring, and I feel like you should check it out.
I will, dude. No, I've got to. Because as silly as it sounds to talk about, like, I remember watching Snoop Dogg drive out onto a stage in a Cadillac.
You went to a Snoop show?
No. But I used to watch Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and Eminem and Exhibit's tour that they did back in the 2000s. I used to watch it all the time.
Yeah. Did you say Exhibit?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they did this whole big tour together. Well, when Snoop comes out, he's driving in this Cadillac, and, like, they had this skeleton, this huge skeleton that would laugh and smoke would billow out. I remember just being as a kid, like, yo, this is insane.
This is insane. That's
and then you start going to, and then as EDM started to really come up in the mid to early 2000s, you started seeing millions of dollars put into visuals.
Oh, dude, remember the Daft Punk pyramid?
Oh, yeah. That was really where you were like, whoa, like,
they're on a
know,
pyramid.
and now you see, Electric Daisy Carnival, where there is more than $1 million worth of lighting on these stages that cover a quarter mile. Yeah. You know,
that's what y'all are trying to do in Denton.
And it's not a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something that was like.
All right, I want in.
Yeah. All right.
Let me know.
You saw me sell it on the air right here. We got him locked in. Carlo. All right. That's right. I high five myself when I do that.
I'll high five you.
Yes,
there you go.
There we go. Oh, man. So before we go.
Is it that time already?
Yeah, I know. It's 7:45 already. It's crazy. Yeah. But we've got the show coming up this Thursday.
Okay. Thursday show.
Backyard on Bell.
Yes.
You're going to be playing at 10 o'clock.
Yes, with Lorelei K and Scout.
Yeah, Scout.
Great folks. Great music.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the show.
I
really am. It's not often where I'm just like, ooh, this is gonna be great. But yeah, me and Lofty started putting this one together, and we're like, this is great. And so then it was all about coming up with the right name, and we thought Moonlight Serenade was perfect.
Moonlight Serenade.
Yep.
Something Modern presents Moonlight Serenade.
Exactly, man.
It's great. I think it's good branding, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah.
We do what we can. I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of like the marketing side of things, but I just watched like 7 episodes of Hip Hop Revolution and saw like what these guys have done to get to where they've been. They're like, we didn't want to wear the shiny suits, but we put on those shiny suits. So I'm like, all right, man, you got to dance a little. Let's try to do something cool and make some changes.
Wear a shiny suit.
Yeah, I just might on Thursday, man. I just might.
I think everybody should own a shiny piece of apparel
and a fantastic
shiny suit. Vest.
A vest and a shiny suit. That's all you need right there. Man, thank you so much for coming on.
Cheers,
that flew by super fast, man.
It did.
It was a great conversation. I got to have you back on again. Let's not make it a year this time. Folks, we've got Leoncarlo here. All right. We are so happy for y'all to be joining us tonight. It was super, super fun to have y'all with us. Shout out to Danielle Marie Longville for tuning in on the show. Y'all make sure to stay live right here on DentonRadio.com. We got Ellie Bell and the Denton Vibe coming up next. Y'all make sure to also tune in from 1 to 2 on Sunday for the Sunday Brunch with your boy right here. I will see y'all next time right here on DentonRadio.com. Peace.
Peace.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. We want to thank our partners and sponsors who made this show possible. And now stick around for a word from all of us here at Discover Denton. Do you love live music? If so, make Denton, Texas your next vacation. Find more information at discoverdenton.com.